Hello, 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 hello. I am so happy to share this time with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to discuss today the work of the brilliant Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'd like to have many discussions about his work. Also, I'd like to discuss the work of Eckhart Tolle and Abraham Hicks. These are all incredible teachers. The great Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer. It just goes on and on. But I will tell you that I've studied with many, and the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza has really resonated with me because it's science and it's knowledge applied to being. And it's something that I can apply to my life on this earth. I'm not going to live in a monastery. I'm not going to India to meditate. I am living my life here in Boca Raton, Florida, every day, very human. And I'm trying to transcend my life through higher ideas and knowledge. As knowledge is progress, as Dr. Joe Dispenza has said, which I love that idea. And also, knowledge gives me power in myself, to love myself, to respect myself and others. And also, science is a great love of mine. And to be able to join science and spirituality is everything to me. So, for those of you who are tuning in or turning in to something else or tuning in to this podcast or this recording, I wish for you to absorb what you can, send me your comments, and let's go. Let's have a party. Let's have a party with this knowledge because life is to be enjoyed. That's why I'm here. And you ready? Okay, so this one is called Use Your Thoughts to Optimize Your Health. Okay, so imagine being able to think your way healthy or think your way happy. What would that be like? Okay, so let's see what he says. Here we go. You ready? Let's go.
We have three types of stress that we process in the physical body. We have physical stress, that's like trauma, accidents, injuries, falls. And then you have chemical stress, like toxins or pesticides or pollutants or viruses or bacteria or hangovers or nutritional deficiencies. And then you have emotional stress, right? And emotional stress could be family tragedies, car accidents, second mortgages, single parenting, 401ks,
Okay, I'm stopping. I'm going to be doing this a lot. Hope you don't get annoyed, but let's discuss it, right? Three types of stress: physical, injury, whatever, pain; chemical, environmental, toxins, water we drink, food we eat. They're everywhere. Drugs we take, alcohol we drink; emotional stress, okay, how we feel, who hurt us, who didn't hurt us. Okay, let's go.
whatever that is. But each one of those things, physical, chemical, or emotional, knock the body out of homeostasis, out of regulation, out of balance. The innate capacity of the body when it's not overstressed is that it wants to always return back and regulate. It wants to return back to homeostasis. It wants to return back to order. And that's innate in us. That's an automatic process that's running through the autonomic nervous system. So we could say the job of the autonomic nervous system is to create balance and regulation and homeostasis, and it's automatic. And that part of the brain sits under the thinking neocortex, and it's called the chemical brain, or the emotional brain, or the limbic brain, or the mammalian brain.
Okay, I want to talk to you about this. So, underneath the neocortex of the brain is the limbic brain. That part of the brain is made to regulate homeostasis in our bodies. That is its job, to regulate us. So that when we go into stress mode, the job of the limbic system of the brain is to create balance. When we have toxic chemicals, the job of the limbic brain is to create harmony and balance. When you have emotional stress, the job of the limbic brain is to create homeostasis. That's its job. How do we tap into that? Let's go.
And it has all of those functions that make blood sugar balanced, hormone levels, digestive enzymes. It's doing what it can to take the body and constantly repair it and regenerate it, move it back into balance. All of those stressors knock the brain and body out of balance, and the innate mechanism, the stress response, brings it back to balance. Well, it just makes sense. If you keep knocking it out of balance over and over again, and you keep moving it out of homeostasis, that imbalance is going to become the new balance, and now you're headed for disease because that automatic system can't regulate order in the body. So a system then is compromised. The system breaks down. And so if it's physical trauma, your body can heal if you rest it. If it's chemical imbalance, you take your pharmaceuticals, or you take your nutraceuticals, your vitamins, your minerals, your herbs, you intermittent fast. You do anything you can to get the body back so that it's using more energy for growth and repair. But the big factor is emotional stress. 75 to 90% of every person that walks into a healthcare facility in the Western world walks in because of psychological or emotional stress. Pretty much.
Okay, I'm going to stop us there. Did you hear what he said? 75% of people who walk into some sort of medical facility walk in because they are in some sort of emotional stress. That is 75%. Like, what? That's crazy. Well, yeah, but it's a lot. Let's go.
Much 4 out of 5 people, what's really causing their health condition is that they're emotionally stressed and emotionally out of balance. Okay, so what are the emotions that are connected to the stress hormones? It's anger, it's hatred, it's frustration, it's competition, it's control, it's judgment, it's envy, it's jealousy, it's insecurity, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's worry, it's angst.
So, again, I'm interrupting, but let's discuss this because it is said the unexamined life is not worth living. Have you ever observed yourself and seen the amount of hate or self hate or insecurity or jealousy or any of the incredible negative emotions that run through us on a daily basis? If you take a moment, I'm going to give you an exercise here. If you take a day and try to observe how many times during the course of the day you have experienced hatred, disgust, loathing, insecurity, fear, worry. Check it out. See how many times a day this machine goes to those places. You will be amazed. And there's like the same tapes running over and over and over again, even when the circumstances change. Just take it on. Let me know. Let's go.
It's hopelessness, it's powerlessness, it's guilt, it's shame, it's unworthiness. And psychology calls these normal human states of consciousness. These are altered states of consciousness. So our response to someone or something in our environment, or our response to our own thought, an image of what could happen in the future, a memory of the past, could actually cause chemicals to be secreted from the brain that causes the body to actually believe it's living in that same environment of fear or danger, right?
Did you hear that? Just by thinking a thought, maybe remembering a bad experience or anticipating a bad experience, has the effect on the brain to secrete chemicals that will put us in a flight or fight motion situation that will cause us illness. Just by a thought. Are you hearing me? Just by a thought. Damn, why didn't they ever teach me that in school when I was a little girl? Well, instead, they caused me self hatred, insecurity, fear, tremendous amounts of fear, inadequacy, right? Remember? Okay, let's go.
right? So that thought, when you're seeing that thought in your mind or remembering that image, it's the image and the emotion, it's the thought and the feeling, it's the stimulus and response that's immediately conditioning the body into that state of imbalance. So it's a scientific fact that the long-term effects of the hormones of stress push the genetic buttons and create disease. If you can turn on that stress response just by thought alone, your thoughts are literally going to make you sick. That's the greatest example of the mind-body connection. So the next fundamental question is, okay, if our thoughts could make us sick, is it possible that my thoughts could make me well? Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to have to manage my attention.
If my thoughts could make me sick, is it possible that my thoughts could make me well? Is it true that I am what I think about all day long? Is it a reasonable question to ask, what do you want to think about? Think about it. Let's go. More.
And I'm going to have to manage my energy, because where I place my attention is where I place my energy. And I'm going to have to inhibit that thought that has conditioned the body to subconsciously be the mind. And the body's so objective that it does not know the difference between the real life experience that's creating that emotion and the emotion that person is fabricating by thought alone. To the body, it's exactly the same. So the body's believing it's being chased by a predator. The body's believing it's in an offensive situation where it has to attack. The body's believing it's constantly needing to be ready, and it's constantly out of homeostasis, it's constantly out of balance. It's in emergency, it's in fight or flight. It's a different system in the autonomic nervous system where you're stepping on the gas, where you're mobilizing enormous amounts of energy for some threat, some danger, real or imagined. But that thought and that feeling, the image, the emotion, the stimulus response is conditioning the body to automatically be the mind of that emotion. Now the body becomes conditioned and addicted. Now this gets to be a problem because people get addicted to their own thoughts. And they
Have you ever had an addiction? I certainly have. I was addicted to food for most of my youth. It's like whenever your body's addicted to something and you try and stop it, it's the unknown, and it tells you, no, 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 you can do it tomorrow. It doesn't want to be in the unknown. It doesn't want to be where it's not used to. And he talks about this. So let's listen some more.
become addicted to the life they don't even like because their response to the coworker, to the boss, to the ex is actually giving them a rush of energy, a rush of adrenaline, and they're associating that rush of energy with some problem or condition in their life. And now come time to change and manage your attention and manage your emotion, it's no different than breaking addiction to anything. There's cravings. The body wants to return back to how it's been conditioned, into the familiar past, into the known. The body starts saying to the mind, you can, it's too hard, you'll never change, this is too uncomfortable, I don't like this, go back to make the same choice, do the same thing, create the same experience, feel the same emotion, so that you can return back to the known. And that's how people seamlessly return back to that same identity. So we only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts that are equal to our emotional state. We'll never accept, believe, and surrender any thoughts that are not equal to your emotional state. So you could say, I'm abundant, I'm eternal, I'll live forever, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. And if you're programmed your body into that emotional state, it's going to say, you're not that. Take a person whose identity is resentment and their identity is anger and frustration and betrayal. And you ask them, why are you this way? And they'll say, I'm this way because of this event that happened to me 15 years ago. Stronger the emotion we feel from some event, the more altered we feel inside of us, the more that chemical continuity is disrupted from something that surprises us, that alters our state, the more the brain freezes a frame and takes a snapshot. That's called a memory. But the problem is that we think about that event over and over again after it happens. We're producing the same chemistry in the brain and body.
How many times have you rethought about a specific event that has happened to you? Maybe just yesterday. Let's say an event happened yesterday where somebody did something to you and you just didn't like it. How many times do you spiral over the same event? Could you imagine if you got off that roller coaster? This is what he teaches. Get off the roller coaster. He teaches many things, but this is one of the things that I've been able to extract from this. How long do you want to stay there? Because once you know this information, that your thoughts can make you sick, but your thoughts can also make you well, why would you choose that thought? Now, I know it's not easy. I meditate anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day, every day. I never miss a day. And I've been doing that for a while now. It's worth it because I want to be happy. And I know you do as well. Because if you had a choice to be happy or miserable, I ask you, where would you want to be? Let's go. Let's keep going. This is so good. Hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. I'm just having this is a party for me. Thanks for coming to my party. Okay, let's go.
As if the event was occurring. And so the body is conditioned literally into the past. So you say the person's resentful about everything. They're seeing their life through the lens of resentment and frustration and anger, and everything's upsetting them. Well, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You say, okay, now it's an addiction. You got to change that. And the person goes, oh, okay, that makes sense. And now that you got to get out of the bleachers on the playing field and say, okay, these emotions could literally have something to do with my health. Just saying, if I stop feeling these emotions, what if I start feeling these emotions? Okay, what would be the emotions that would make me happy? These emotions are making me feel really bad. The memories are making me feel really bad. Can I remember a future? How would I feel if my future could happen? I got to trade those emotions for different emotions. Well, if I've been practicing feeling these emotions and I've conditioned my body to be the mind, it's going to take some time for me to start making different chemistry with the intention of making that chemistry, getting my body back into homeostasis and balance, work on my breath. When I breathe, I change my state, practice breathing, work with your body so it can start to relax, so that it feels safe enough to feel something other than that again. And if it takes you 3 weeks, it'll be worth it. So then person then starts, okay, I don't really know how to feel gratitude. Okay, well, maybe start going out and giving and give to people. I promise you, start giving, start.
So I have a little tip for you. So when I first heard feeling gratitude, I was like, I felt like a fake. I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. And then a teacher once said to me, Marla, just say, please, thank you. Please, thank you. Help, thank you. Help, thank you. Put your hands over your heart and do the mantra, help, thank you. It changes something in my chemistry whenever I do that. And then I start to feel grateful. Give it a try. See if you like it. I'll share more stuff with you. Okay, let's keep listening.
Feeling grateful. And then start practicing feeling gratitude. Teach your body, just for 15 minutes a day, what it would like to feel gratitude, what it would be like. And our data shows that you take someone to do that for 4 days, 3 times a day. They make a immunoglobulin called immunoglobulin A. It's your body's natural flu shot. It's the greatest immune chemical we have. 50% increase in the subjects we studied in 4 days. Immunoglobulin A, up
50% increase in subjects that he studied. And at the retreats, they do these tests and they do them all the time. But I have seen they study the blood, they study everything. And so when he speaks about this about this science, it's because he's seen it. It's proven. He has seen, they have studies, real studies that show the differences in the blood. So you can't really argue with that. You can, but good luck with that. So I find that fascinating. Okay, let's go. Keep more.
50% in 4 days. Where is that chemistry coming from? They're not taking anything. It's coming from within them, right? What is the emotional signature of gratitude? When you receive something, or you just received something. When something wonderful happened to you or something wonderful is happening to you, you feel grateful. So now, if you're in a state of gratitude, it makes total sense. Then you will accept, believe, and surrender the thoughts that are equal to that emotional state. And you could actually program your autonomic nervous system to make the pharmacy of chemicals that causes growth and repair to happen in the body. And that's exactly what we're discovering. So then when people understand why they're doing it, the how gets easier. So you can assign meaning to the task and switch on the prefrontal cortex. And when you switch on that prefrontal cortex, it wants to get an outcome. It doesn't want to mess around. It wants the outcome. You're doing it for the outcome. And that's kind of a strong intention and a change in energy or an emotional state. And that's changing your state of being. And when you change your state of being like that every day, get ready, because you're going to start having synchronicities and coincidences and weird things start happening in your life to prove to you that you're actually the creator of your life instead of the victim of your life.
What do you think? So there would, what would make me grateful? Comments, thoughts. I'm not here teaching you. I'm here sharing with you. I'll teach you what I know, but I also want to know what you know because then I will learn as well. Let's discuss these brilliant, amazing, insightful ideas. I will be back. We will do more. And as Dr. Joe says, we cannot create a new future by holding on to the emotions of the past. Create the feelings, and then the thoughts will follow. Feel good. Think good. Think good. Feel good. I think it goes both ways. Either way, do it. Hit me up with some questions. I love you all. We cannot create a new future by holding on to the emotions of the past. This is Marla Past, signing off. Thank you so much again. I am so grateful to share this time with you and what I've learned and what I'm learning. And I look forward to hear what you're learning. Love you all.